Hey guys, it's Rachel from the Little Ring Lamb, and today I'm doing my reading challenge update. Before I get into the video, I just want to say I'm sorry about the lighting. It's been pretty dark and stormy today, and there's only so much I can do with my lights, my regular lights. Anyway, today is my reading challenge update, and I don't have an exact total books I read just because I didn't record some months and then the Goodreads thing went off, but I have like an estimate. It's only one off. So I either read 74 or 73 books, but I'm pretty sure it's 74. So going over my reading challenge for the year, for 2016, last year I planned to read 50 books, and that's what I've been making most of them because I am a full-time undergraduate student. So reading with school and all that going on, like high school is way easier to set a higher target, but I've been trying to keep it low so I don't disappoint myself. But I knew last year was going to be pretty easy to get to that total because I did have 2 English classes that really relied on reading novels. This semester for my American Lit, we've been reading anthologies, so I haven't been able to do that. But so my, end of reading has really slipped from the beginning because I had a really good January because I read 10 books in January, and it kind of was on a pretty good incline until it declined. But anyway, so 50 books I surpassed in August, and I decided to set my second reading goal for 75 books because, 25 plus, thought I'd do it that way, and I managed to read, I'm going to say I believe it's 74 books. Goodreads doesn't count 3 of the books I read this year. Yes, it's 74. Sorry, I was trying to think of the third book I reread. I reread Winter Street and Winter Stroll, which didn't put on my Goodreads because I already had them marked down, and Dying to Know You. So yes, I did read 74 books. Sorry about that confusion. And Goodreads only accounted for 71 of them, but I did read 74. Didn't quite make my goal, but I wasn't really pressuring myself to make that goal because it was my second one, so I kind of took the rest of the year kind of easy and didn't put a lot of pressure to read that goal. So I'm looking at my phone right now, and I'm looking at the Goodreads email. I really enjoy this email, and I really like this feature of Goodreads. It really encourages me to keep using it because sometimes I don't post as regularly, and sometimes you guys, if you follow me, can see I post very regularly. So Goodreads stats said I read a total of 23,381 pages over 71 books. And my shortest book this year was actually an ebook, so I don't have a physical copy that I can show you, and it was Shopaholic on Honeymoon by Sophie Kinsella. And it was 28 pages, and I read that one last January. And the longest book I read actually was in October, and it was Voyager by Diana Gabaldon, the third Outlander book, and it was 1,059 pages. And that one is still the longest book I read, even though I was 400 pages through it. Still the longest one, so I'm not really going to compensate for that. The average length of the books, I guess, average page numbers, is 334 pages per book kind of ratio, which I think is very fair because most of the books I read are 350 pages or so. I don't read super long books, but I don't read super short. They're a medium length. So according to Goodreads, the most popular book I read this year was The Devil Wears Prada by Lauren Weisberger, and is very popular. 667,919 people have rated and reviewed it on Goodreads. And the least popular book I read was actually one for school. It was for my contemporary Canadian fiction class, and it was Hetty Dorval by Ethel Wilson, and only 135 people have read it on the site. Not very popular, but a really good read. And it says my average rating for 2016, which was 4.7, but I only really rated books really high scores. I go through phases where I rate books on Goodreads and then I don't. I don't really like the rating system because I like how I do it myself because there's a lot more factors and plot I like to add into it. I know plot can encompass characters and suspense and all that, but I like to break it up because I feel like it's easier for me to digest and really tell people what I specifically enjoyed instead of saying oh, I give the book a 4, but I didn't really like, a certain aspect. I think when you break it down, it's easier to know what the person liked. And if you watch my videos or my book reviews and you like certain kinds of characters, we have certain character traits that we like with our book characters in common, and I rate the characters really high, that, that's a good character. Maybe I'd like to read that instead of me rating the plot in total. So I have some qualms about that, and of course everybody complains about no half stars, which is something that I have to agree with. The highest rated on Goodreads book that I read was actually Trained by Danny M. Cohen, and I read this for my children's literature class, and it was a very powerful, moving novel, and I could see why it would be the highest rated book I read this year on Goodreads because it was also an award winner. And then it just has pictures of all the books I've read, and it's just every time I see this, I want to sing the song Memories, Memories, it's so weird. Certain books I'm looking at, I read that this year, and it doesn't feel like I read it this year or last year because I'm filming this in 2017, which I still cannot believe it's 2017. But yes, this year my reading goal is actually, I upgraded it, and I upgraded to 60 books. Now, after I said I've been keeping it pretty consistent with 50 books per year, I decided to move it up just because I do want to incorporate more graphic novels into my reading. And graphic novels don't take me that long to read, so I thought I'll bump it up to 60 because my main goal is to read 50 novels and 10 graphic novels, and that's preliminary goals. Now, I've been collecting the Sailor Moon graphic novels. I don't know if you can see them in frame. And I have another graphic novel, what's it called, series that I want to start. And that'll take me way over 10 books, but I don't really expand my genres too much because I do have a comprehension, learning problem. So certain genres I can't read as fast and it really bothers me. Not that reading fast is really a goal, but it really just discourages me and it's hard for me to comprehend it just just not a fun reading experience. So I'm trying to expand my reading categories by adding more graphic novels, and I want to add more poetry this year. So I was thinking of maybe putting 75 goal, but I think I'm just going to go 60, and if I beat it, I beat it, and that is great. And if I don't, I don't, but I feel like I will definitely be able to beat it. Maybe not as soon as last year, but I'm predicting I beat my reading challenge by next October. So we'll see. I probably will forget to even check this video, just check when it is, but if you guys do, keep me in line. And yes, that's basically my main reading goal. I just want to kind of expand and not be pressured. I know a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people, and they mean no harm, and I completely understand what they're getting at, but some of them want me to read, expand my genres, and it's hard for me, and I have to find the books that really match up with me because of that, because I don't like when I can't understand something and it takes me a while and I have to keep rereading a sentence. It bothers me because I read for fun, and I want it to remain fun, and this is something that's been going on for a long time, since I learned how to read, but I love reading enough that I push through it, and it's just action novels I can't follow along as much, and certain novels like that, and I have certain interests and dislikes. And I really like when people talk to me about other genres, and I really like watching them. You know what, maybe one day I'll pick up one of those books, but I want to kind of let myself explore different genres and try to, go to my horizons. I'm trying to read more nonfiction and memoirs, and, looking really in the bargain section a lot. I look at the regular section, the popular section, but I feel like a lot of the bargain books I've been looking at, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about them. Like the book I'm currently reading, The Book of You, I've heard really nobody talk about that. Maybe it's just me and I'm not seeing it. But I'm trying to read books I don't hear everybody talking about all the time. Those books are really good. Really love them. But I'm trying to kind of branch away. I'm not reading as much YA anymore. If you've noticed the past year, I've been reading a lot of general fiction. And I'm not discarding YA. I still love YA, but I'm trying to, branch out a bit and read books that aren't necessarily mainstream but are still kind of popular, but not maybe in the booktube realm, and maybe more in the blog realm, and that kind of thing. I'm not dissuading anybody that reads popular books. I'm not trying to harp on you and say that's bad. Don't worry. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just saying that I'm trying to expand my horizons and see different, because we can all get in the same books, and I love reading the same books as others because it's a community building thing. But at the same time, I don't want to get stuck in a bubble where I'm only reading the popular books because everybody else is reading them. I kind of want to expand and read a mixture of popular books that everybody's reading so I can connect with everybody, and read some books that I don't really hear a lot about online, and it's a shame. And I know people that don't necessarily read books just because they're popular consciously. It just kind of happens, and I kind of want to make an effort to read books that are not necessarily something I always hear about, because I think that just makes it more interesting. And then also, if more people are doing this and you hear about more books, then it's just a lot of fun. But I'm not no way harping on anybody. So if you feel like I kind of jabbed at you, I'm not poking at a specific person. I'm just saying in general that's how I feel. And if you read the most popular books and you're fine with whatever you read, I'm just saying I want to kind of expand my horizons a bit, because I've always been reading the popular books even when I wasn't on BookTube. If there was a lot of popular book series at school, I would read it even if I wasn't super interested in it, aka Twilight. I would never be super interested in that, but it was because everybody's reading it. So I kind of want to go away from the popular, Heather's picks, the Indigo CEO, I don't know why I'm doing this. She is the Indigo CEO, and it's her picks, the most popular books. I'm trying to go for books I don't hear a lot about that could have been popular. Maybe I missed it. And that was a really long rant, and I'm really sorry about that, but that was my reading challenge update. Definitely let me know how many books you're setting for yourself to read this year, or if you're not, let me know why you decide not to set goals, and that kind of, not set goals, but set a reading target, because, I'm pretty sure most of us have reading goals. If not, completely fine, but most people have something they want to read this year, a goal that they want. So sorry this video has been very rambly. I expected this to be a short video, but it's probably not going to be that way. But yeah, I just had a lot of feelings I wanted to get off my chest, and I really hope that whether you set a target for reading or not, that you just have a really good reading year and read a lot of 5-star amazing books. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.